Hey, what are you doing? Ah, there he is, my beautiful brother Matt. How are you gonna get any chicks using that flimsy thing?
Your flimsy thing didn't stop you from getting broads, did it, mate?
Watch your mouth, bruv. All I'm saying is if you want the gains, you have to push big plates. And trust me, I got mad chicks, and none of them complain. Ask your mum.
Oh, what the fuck, mate? Your mum? This is my mum. Exactly how many brain cells you have left in that whole space you call a head.
Call ahead. That's exactly what I'm gonna do before I go to your sister's for a little Netflix and not chill.
I don't have a sister. And if I did, she'd be your sister. Are you mental?
You should drop it like you do when you try and lift as much as me.
I'm gonna put it like this. In plain English, you do whatever you like, I'll do the same. Got it?
Whatever.
Anyway, I have to jet. My fishies need a Tren.
Perfect.
The Smith press for incline, because you could really like control the weight all the way down and like get really deep and like still have that safety net.
And the way these guys are repping, like I love this slow rep. I love these controlled ups. You can tell how much control they have, and then he's speeding it up. Okay, cool, so let's not do that. So setting up the Smith machine. All right, here's how we're gonna do this. Right away, we look at the machine, look at the bench. We're gonna put this one up a notch, right? Depending on how far you go up, you wanna have this so you're not sliding off the bench. So I'm gonna put it here. This is going to make you higher on the bench, so adjust this thing first. Now we want the incline, all right? So we're gonna go that 30-degree incline here. Now, here's my little hack here to make sure that this thing's not off, so you're not on the bench, you're doing this and like, oh my God, the ceiling looks off. Take this thing off and literally put it on the bench. And if you look at it, you're like, oh look, it's pretty even, right? If it's not even, then adjust, pull the sky up a bit and adjust your bench accordingly. Now we have the bench inclined and the little part on the bottom of the seat inclined as well too, so don't slide off. We're gonna sit down on the bench and we have to adjust ourselves with this. Now, the best thing about this, if you're in a Smith machine that just goes straight down on an angle, again, any of those angle ones, throw them out of the gym. This is gonna go up and down, straight. So what we want is this thing to go down in this part of our chest. So if the bench is up too high, and I'm like this, I'm like, oh, this is definitely not gonna be good, and it smacks me in the face, I want this to aim down here on the top of my chest, because that's what we are training. We're training the top part of the chest, the pec minor, the minor pec minor, the, what do you call it? Small pecs? The upper chest. The scientific words there, the upper chest. That's what we're trying to hit, right? So we're gonna adjust this bench back. So when I look at this, I know it's gonna go straight down. So I want this to come down this way, so I need to go this way a little bit. So I'm just gonna adjust my bench a little bit, pick up this, and I'm gonna roll her back a slight bit from here, sit down, and now this is exactly where I want it to be, right? That's your little hack. We just want this to get on the chest and adjust your bench so when you drop this bar, it's hitting the exact same part of the chest that we're trying to target. Width and grip, again, we want to actually grip the bar, but we can use these smooth parts here as your markers. Again, when it comes to bench, I'm gonna put my thumbs like this, and I feel a little too close, so I'll do thumb in and another thumb out, and that's where I like to be, or my hands landed exactly on the smooth part, so I can say ring finger or middle finger on the smooth part, and I'm good. Now I got my place here, I'm good to go. Now we're all set up, we want our feet to be planted. We don't want them too far this way, but just right underneath the knees, right? We don't want them too far back here because there's too much pressure on my lower back. So I'm gonna place them right here. Again, if your feet are too short, raise them up the plate, it's perfectly fine. Then from here, pushing in the ground, engaging my glutes, slight arch in my back, but still engaging my core. So I do have a little arch in my back, but I'm not doing this. This isn't what we're trying to do. We're not on the table about to give birth and bench, right? We are here, right? And then from here, we're gonna come up, engage our core, and then remember, shoulders back and away from our ears, right? From this part, I'm almost doing like a front relax. My lats are engaged, my shoulders are depressed, and then I'm gonna get my weight from here, grab the bench, and I'm gonna just basically extend my elbows, and I'm good, right? I don't wanna push this weight off here, and I have to reset myself, just like last when I talked about the same thing on bench. We want to just be able to sit here and just extend the elbows, re-grip ourselves again here, and then And remember, fists, wrists, and elbows are gonna be stacked. Stack the joints. Basically means you're stacking, not weed, man.
Smoke weed every day.
Y'all can stack the weed all you want. I'm all for it. But we talking about stacking joints, we're talking about fist, wrist, and elbow joint is aligned and underneath. We don't want them here or here. We want to be slightly externally rotated here so we're aligned, so we're pressing through the elbow, right? Now, when you're on a machine, I want you, especially with the machine, I want you guys to understand what your rep should sound like. So I'm gonna take my mic off here, I'm gonna put it right here. Your rep should sound like this. Not like this. And that's what a majority of people's reps sound like. If anything is here in 2023, I want you guys to really focus on controlling the weight and then maximizing your reps by adding a load that is going to take you to exhaustion. Like it's going to make your chest feel like, or whatever muscle it is. Today, chest. I want you to feel like if you got off your set, that if somebody came by on accident with a pin and poked you in the chest, it would just explode with blood. That's what you want to do. And you only achieve that by controlling the rep on the way down. And if you can do this tempo for 10 to 15 reps, I promise you when you get up, you're gonna be like, holy geez, my chest is actually killing me. And a good way for you guys to understand when you're coming close to failure, and here's how a good way for you guys to understand what failure might look like or when it's coming around the corner. If you can't control the negative, you will not be able to get the positive. And I'll push it even further. If your first rep looks like this, and then your last rep looks like this, that is not a hard set at all. And this is how I judge a lot of my athletes when they send me in videos. I'm looking at the set, I'll literally fast forward to the end and see what their first set looks like to the last set. And their last set should be coming close to failure. It should be one of these like, oh, it's faster, and then you're like, oh, you're trying to get it up, and then like, all of a sudden your negative is like, I can't sustain the negative, it's even faster. Like, once you cannot sustain the tempo of the negative, you're coming really close to your failing rep. If you get 10 to 15 reps, and you're at 10 reps, and we're still like this, and we're at 12, we're at 13, we're at 14. Oh, man, that was hard. But I really want to just focus on the reps. Yes, focus on the reps, but I want you to focus on making the set as hard as you possibly can, staying in the parameters of good, efficient, quality reps, technique, control, tempo, all that stuff. Make sense? All right, let's move to the next one.
When I know I'm close to failure with a woman, when I'm on this machine, I start doing half reps. It just increases the pump, the amount of blood you can force into it, muscle.
He's got to do half reps because he can't get the weight all the way up. The first few reps of that set were like money. And all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, I can't sustain this tempo the entire time. So he switches over to half reps or, pulse reps or whatever you want to call it. Just to pump the rest of the reps out, right? That's when you're coming close to failure. So a lot of you guys, when they're watching me, like, man, Johnny, man, I've been focusing on the technique and stuff. And I'm like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
And he's like, yeah, but I don't really focus on the weight. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I didn't say don't focus on the weight. I said focus on prioritizing technique, but I want you guys to take the load and progressively overload it. So if you're in a rep range of 10 to 15, 8 to 12, 10 to 12, I don't care what the freaking rep range is. It is hard. It should be, you should not be able to get to the 12 or the max amount of rep range, but you should at least get to the minimum. If you can't get to the minimum rep range, it's too heavy. If you can get more than the max rep range, it's too light. So we continue to maybe add some reps in those first maybe feeler sets to get to the point when you're doing your hard or working sets, they're actually hard and they're actually working.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, so next we got some dumbbell flies. Now, I've already went over this a couple times. If you get to an actual cable machine or a pec deck, do so. But if you're gonna do flies, I'm gonna go over this again. I'm probably gonna do a gazillion videos on how to optimize proper dumbbell flies.
No. You know what? I don't wish.
Yeah, okay.
I don't wish.
I was about to say, bro.
I love my God-given abilities, okay? I got fucking double D knockers, man. Let's go.
We're just not gonna, look, Tren twins, holla at your boy, man. We're gonna do a collab together. You guys are strong as hell. I'm gonna give you all the credit in the world. But let me just coach you for a little bit and just, I'm gonna make you guys 3-4% better, just in your overall setup. Just listen to Uncle Johnny. He'll call me Uncle John, Jesus Christ. If anything, it's Daddy Johnny. Papa John. Papa John here with the chest tips. Papa John, wait a minute, that's a pizza. Papi Johnny. Number one, we're doing chest flies. Come back just like we're doing a dumbbell press. And I've made these examples before on my easy tips. Back to the basics, right? Feet on the ground. We're gonna kick these bad boys up while we're going back to the bench here and then here. While we're back here, now we're gonna reset our position by just getting our feet planted. Again, same idea as if we're in an incline Smith machine. Plant your feet, glutes engaged, core engaged, tiny arch, shoulders back and away from your ears. And now we're gonna press this thing up first. We're gonna do a press first, right? And from here, we're gonna let this thing open up. And then while it's open, we're gonna bend those elbows a bit to stay under the weight as much as we can. And from here, massive stretch from here, and we're gonna press this thing to the ceiling. I want you to think about pressing this. I want you guys to think about this approach when we're doing dumbbell flies. And it's the same when it comes to like, you know, pec deck or cables. I want you guys to stop thinking about just coming like this and then getting it closed in and hugging it. It's still a pressing movement, right? So I'm gonna give you guys an example. My hands are open, I'm doing this so you can see the dumbbell. Say this is a dumbbell. I'm trying to hold the weight here. From here, I'm opening, I'm trying to keep my weight under. And when I get to here, I'm gonna press. I'm pressing still and in. I'm not doing this, right? So we're opening up here, we're gonna open up, we're gonna let those elbows bend to get a little more range of motion. And then from here, we're gonna press up, straight, and close. That's what I wanna do. I don't wanna get here and then think I gotta do this. It's not. I wanna stay under the weight the entire time from here to here. Now, I'm gonna use dumbbells. Do this again. Backing away. Feet are planted. I press the weight up, adjust myself, get myself aligned, and then I'm gonna open this weight up, bending the elbows, staying underneath, and from here, I'm pressing to the ceiling and squeezing. And I'm squeezing myself back to the bench. I'm pushing myself into the bench to squeeze my chest more. Because at this point here, guys, there's nothing really happening. I can hold this weight here all day long and my chest is not getting absolutely anything working at all. But I want to keep this as my range of where I'm going to finish and start. Because if I open up to here, there's a little bit of work going on. So I want to really work that bottom range of this from here and then pressing. And then here and floating it, right? Float. And float. And squeeze that chest as hard as you can, basically trying to bring your shoulder 90 degrees to your chest. And that's what we want. And doing this is making my chest flare right up. And this is one of the best ways you can do flies to really feel your pecs when you're doing dumbbells. Because again, if we come into here and we bang it in here, we're resting, there's nothing happening here at all. Keep it open, open up, press up and squeeze. Press up and squeeze. Anyway, guys, that is it for the video. If you guys use any of those tips, let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys come back around to the channel because we'll be doing part 2 to this video as well. And guys, I know you liked the video, so if you did, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. You know I'm accountable that tell like it is, transparent, vulnerable truth. And for coaching, johnishu.com. If you want more info about my coaching, guys, book yourself a 15 or 30-minute consult with me, video call, that you can go over everything you need to know about fitness, to bridge those gaps, and anything that you guys might have questions about. Anyway, guys, make sure you description below for those discount codes and promo codes that save your life or change your life for the better, like Johnny10 for 10% off bluestarnutraceuticals.com. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, the works. Add me. Send me your progress pics or training pics, any video clips, and I'll repost it for you, because you know how it is. Iron sharpens iron, progressive overload your life. In the meantime, keep dream chasing. Peace.